Viewer listener discretion is advised. The majority of the content of this program is not factual. It is highly advised that it not be used for teaching your children from said content, other than making an example out of the hosts of what they should not grow up to be. Remember this, it's the beer talking.
Welcome to the truth about beer.
All the crap that we're interested in. Searching for the truth. Exploring the unexplained. Investigating the paranormal. Subscribe now.
Hit the alert
button so you don't miss an episode.
Ow!
Welcome to the truth
about beer.
and
Most civilizations before leave behind some layer of mystery. Archaeology, climate science, and even ancient DNA are helping uncover new clues today. But some mysteries might never be fully solved. Join the truth about beer and as they explore modern civilizations that have disappeared forever. Watch live on YouTube and Rumble. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so these videos don't disappear like the civilizations before them.
don't disappear.
Don't disappear. Poof, it's gone.
Hi, everybody.
What's up?
And yeah, I said hi to Chris. That's because we're broadcasting on his channel. So it doesn't mean he's on, but
probably sleeping.
It was nice to, he probably is sleeping. It's, let's see, they're 7 hours ahead of us. So I would hope that he's in bed by now. Yes.
Well, Allison, hope your power comes back on soon.
Ooh,
That's never a good thing.
that does kind of suck.
It does.
You know what else sucks?
What's that?
My day.
Yes, it did, didn't it?
Man.
You want to tell people about your day, or
What a pisser,
I'm telling you.
So I broke a tooth a couple months back, and I was told that I had to get that taken care of before I start my treatments and all that, or at least make sure there's no emergency, dentistry kind of stuff that would have to be done after I start my treatments. So I went to the dentist, got that all taken care of, and prep. So I've been, the camera's over here. So I've been wearing a temporary, until today. Well, this past weekend, I was playing at a bar in Superior called Porter's. We play there from noon to 4, and they feed us lunch. Well, we only have 15 minutes to eat lunch when we do that. So I ordered a Superior burger, which is awesome. It's got a big hatch chili on it, just pepper jack cheese. And it's just third a pound, whatever it is.
Delicious.
It is very good. So I just pretty much ignored that temporary so that I could munch on that burger and get it down. Right. So and things were fine until I woke up yesterday morning and found that temporary was still on there, but I'd compressed it so much that I was really putting all that pressure on another tooth. And that other tooth was hurting like a MFer. So went in today because today was the day that my permanent crown was to get put on, and they put it on. I told them, well, you better x-ray this tooth because I'm afraid something could be bad. And it was bad.
It was.
Yeah. And they said, well, you really need a root canal.
Oh.
And I said, well, crap. I mean, tomorrow I start chemo, and I don't have any open time to take care of this. So can we just do antibiotics? And they said, well, we could, but if it gets bad, it could be bad.
Yeah.
So I called my coordinator at MD Anderson and explained it to them. They says, well, if they can take care of it today, then get it done. If not, you'll have to do the antibiotics.
Right.
An extraction wasn't an option right now because it takes too long to really
heal.
heal,
Yeah.
while I go through what I got to go through. So anyway, I'm sitting there. I hope they don't find a place that'll take me today. And what do you know? They come back and said, "Oh, we found one that'll take you at 3:45." Shit. So anyway, I'm all numb still. Got my root canal done, and doesn't feel very good right now.
Sore, right?
Sore. So magic solution or potion is in this cup right here. And most people cringe when I tell them what it is. But for me, it's one of my faves, and that's a Jaeger bomb on the rocks. So it's a Jaeger and a monster.
You've always liked Jaeger.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's helping with the pain right now.
That works.
And after today, I can't drink anymore. So
yeah.
Well, for a while.
For a
anyway.
while. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but now things are looking better.
And now you're here.
I'm here, and I'm happy. I'm happy I'm here.
You're happy. I'm happy you're here.
And it really is. It's starting to feel a little bit better since
the Jaeger.
Since the Jaeger, yeah. So,
well, we're gonna drink some beer too. So that's even.
Well, you betcha.
It's gonna make it even better. By the end of the night, you won't be feeling shit. Crazy. Yeah, it's magic potion.
Number 9. No.
That's love potion number 9, isn't it?
Well, that was from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That was the backmasking one that it ended with number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. And then if you play it backwards, it said, Paul's a dead man. Paul's a dead man. Yeah.
I never got into that. Never played the records backwards. I've heard a lot about it, but
yeah, we tried when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Running it, with our finger.
Yeah. I just never forget that Robin Williams skit on Good Morning Vietnam when he talks about playing the record backwards. It's just funny.
I miss that guy.
Should we do a sponsorship real quick?
Let's do it.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Project Y. They do now have product in there, so make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel and get some free product. There's some good stuff. They have an eye serum. They have an anti-aging cream. We will be getting some of the product here ourselves to be able to give out to you guys. So if you're interested, put it in the chat, or like I said, go subscribe to their YouTube channel, and they'll send you one for free. But go to projectynow.com for more information, and don't forget to check out their podcast every other Wednesday, the Ycast. Good stuff on there. And if you guys were just recently on our Patreon account, we put up a video for free. You didn't have to be a member to watch it.
No,
it's our latest bloopers from our filming, and it was hilarious.
That's been way too much fun.
It has been way too much fun. But yeah, you definitely want to check out our Patreon page, because we have a lot of good videos up on there that you do have to be a member to enjoy, but it's well worth it, and it's not very expensive. So I do highly recommend you go check it out, and it helps us out. So
it sure does.
We greatly appreciate it.
We don't want to work. Well, I don't work, but
I don't want to work anymore.
I think I get drained just coming over here and seeing you working so hard all the time.
Is that what it is?
So stressed out.
Yeah, well,
I don't want Keith to have to work anymore. We could have a lot of fun
making movies and doing podcasting. So, all right, let's drink some beer, shall we?
Let's do it.
We didn't really go out on a limb today, didn't go to Total Wine or nothing like that. So we stuck with some good old Sam Adams. And it's we got the cherry wheat, which is probably my favorite when it comes to Sam Adams, and then we have the Boston Lager.
When it comes to wheat,
yeah, I just like it, and the cherry wheat's hard to find, man. It really is.
It's been a while since I've had one of these.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff.
Would you say it was it's the original craft brewery of America?
I think so. Yeah. There you go, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it should go really good with the Jaeger.
It should, actually. Good flavors. Good mixing those good flavors together. Yeah, the cherry wheat's hard to find, though. They'll put it out around this time of year, and then it just disappears for a while. It's very difficult to find. but it's definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, let's see if it's what I remember.
Let's cheers to your root canal.
Let's
do
it.
Thank God that
So no
one's in the
more
past.
root canals.
No more root canals. Oh yeah,
I can taste that cherry.
Yes, good beer. I love this beer. Oh,
Yum,
I
yum.
lost my mouse for a minute there. I lost my mouse. Yeah, cheers, everybody. Sam Adams is good. Yeah, see,
they did have it at Fry's.
Yeah,
today?
Fry's is where I can usually find it. Like I was at Walmart, I couldn't find it at Walmart. I luckily had this already from the last time I bought it, but it's difficult to find. So, but
I was going to say I should go buy some, but then
you can't drink for a while.
Drink for a while. So.
Well, you can pick some up and keep it that way when you can drink it
and look at it.
Jump right
well,
in.
that's just temptation that
That's
can't.
true.
I can't have in my fridge. You know.
That's true. That's a good point.
So what are we doing a show on today, Keith?
I don't know. What are we doing? No. So I don't even know how this topic came up, but we were kind of talking about it. How did this come up? I don't even know how it came up.
It just manifested itself.
It really did, didn't it? So we're talking about civilizations that have been lost, and I kind of talk about natural disasters, I guess, it's because of the Lake Mead show that we did. We were talking about the town getting buried under the lake.
That's right.
That sprung this up.
That's what I meant to do a search on too. Now that you mentioned that, is I want to pull up, see how many towns have been
flooded
out by reservoirs and whatnot.
Probably a lot.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
I think the ones it's either Kansas or Oklahoma or somewhere there where they.
Is that Tony?
Graveyard.
What's up, Tony?
Mr. Staticon and
stuff. Staticon in the house. Yeah, there we go.
Tony and Sheree, that's a great episode. You could go back and watch if you haven't watched it. We interviewed Tony and Sheree and did the episode on Staticom, which is
and you guys just
totally fascinating.
They just reposted it on Facebook too. Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that.
Oh, cool.
Like it was yesterday or today. I saw it on Facebook again.
So if you follow them on Facebook, you should be able to find it really easy.
Yep, that's for sure. Yeah, that was a great show. It was a lot of fun. So talking about lost civilizations. Oh, I do have a PowerPoint. Should bring that up. So, stole the podcast promo. There you go. That works. Hey, I'm good with that.
Oh, that one turned out cool too.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was cool. But so I kind of started out, with some of the ones that people have heard of, right? Because these are ones that have kind of played out throughout the years in our history, stories, Greek mythology, stuff like that. That it all talks about, especially Atlantis. That's always an interesting story. So, the lost city of Atlantis is a mythical island described by the Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell word?
Timaeus?
Timaeus and Critias, however you say that.
Critias?
It is depicted as a powerful and advanced civilization that was destroyed by earthquakes and floods, ultimately sinking beneath the sea. While often depicted as a real place, it is widely considered a fictional allegory by historians, which I don't know, man. They've come up with some pretty cool footage over the last, I'd say 20 years. You ever see that one where they actually find that roadway under the ocean that they thought could be the pathway to Atlantis?
I don't know about the roadway. I know I've seen some images that kind of show circular, like a circular city or kind of formation, all that. But yeah,
pretty cool. So it says Atlantis was said to have been destroyed by a sudden catastrophe like earthquakes and floods, causing it to sink into the Atlantic Ocean. So it's out there somewhere. I believe it is.
Out there somewhere. Can't do that because we'll get a copyright.
Well, okay. at least you didn't say the words in order, so that we won't get we won't get
Somewhere,
written up
okay.
for it. Was that American
You're
Tail,
right.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that song. That was
So,
it wasn't Lyndon Ronstadt, was it? No.
yeah.
Was it? And James
and James Ingram.
yeah. I remember that song.
It's a really good tune.
Yeah, it was a good tune. I enjoyed it.
This one's always fascinated me too. This
I love and I want to go see it.
me too.
Definitely.
All those frozen bodies.
Yeah, it was just,
Frozen
like
in stone or whatever.
an ash or whatever it was. Yeah, it's preserved it.
So of course we're talking about Pompeii,
Hmm.
an ancient Roman city near Naples, Italy. It was destroyed and buried under ash and pumice. Good for cleaning toilets. During the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. I always want to say Vesuvius. It sounds more
elegant.
Mount Vesuvius, yes, in 79 AD. This event preserved the city and its inhabitants, offering a unique glimpse into Roman life and urban planning. Destruction and preservation. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius buried Pompeii under layers of volcanic debris, actively preserving the city for centuries.
That's crazy.
Some of the pictures I've seen are just like, that can't be a real person.
Oh,
yeah,
it's like frozen in time, man. It's crazy.
So rediscovery and excavation. Pompeii was largely forgotten until its rediscovery in the late 16th century, with major excavations beginning in the mid 18th century. So I wonder what it looked like then. I mean, I wonder if vegetation has started to grow over it, or if, what?
That'd be interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Before they excavated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you it did. I bet you it started being reclaimed by Earth.
Wow. But yeah, I would love to go there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And see that. Yeah. That'd be very cool.
I watched the movie.
I'd love to do a ghost hunting session there.
Oh, right. I'm sure it's popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool to go see that though. That's on my bucket list. So these are some civilizations you might not have heard of, right?
I had not.
Interesting. So first one is Norse Greenland, Viking settlements. So it's southern Greenland, North Atlantic, settled in 985 CE. What does CE mean? Does anybody know what that date stands for? I have not seen that.
CE. It's
the first time I've seen that term used. I'm usually either BC or AD, right?
Yeah, and then I've seen one that had 3 letters. It was the accepted, I think, or something. Was AC. I don't remember. I just don't. Yeah, but yeah, please. I'm sure Dan knows. Dan will put it up there for sure.
Yeah. The dog people. Welcome to the channel. So, settled 985 CE. I need to know that. Abandoned by the mid 1400s. Last records 1410s. So, prolonged climate cooling, aka Little Ice Age, rising sea levels, and increased coastal flooding is said to kind of wipe them out. Norse colonists led by Eric the Red established farms in Greenland's fjords around 985 CE. They prospered during the warm period, but about 1100 CE onward, summers became shorter and sea ice grew. New studies show sea levels rose by several meters, flooding Viking farmland. Cascade of problems, crops failures, livestock losses, and isolation followed. By the 15th century, the settlements were abandoned. The last written record of Greenland Norse is from the 1420s. In short, the climate-driven cooling and flooding gradually made farming and survival impossible, forcing the Norse to leave. So where did they go to?
That's what I was just going to ask. But you beat me to it. Where did they go?
Where did they go? They just disappeared.
Them Greenlanders. Will they ever be part of the United States?
So it must be all those factories and everything back then, huh? Sorry.
All the fossil fuels they were burning.
All the fossil fuels. Yep.
Angkor.
Yeah.
We accept that. Angkor.
Yeah.
Khmer.
Khmer Empire.
Khmer Empire in Cambodia. So the location was Angkor. Angkor. Angkor? No, what'd you say?
Angkor.
Angkor.
I'm gonna go with Angkor.
Okay. Anyway, northwest Cambodia, which is in Southeast Asia, north to Alaska. Yeah, timeline. So this was the 9th to 13th centuries.
Okay.
Collapsed early in the 1400s. That person, Athaya,
Yeah.
Atathaya, something like that. Sack of Angkor. I'm not going to ask what that means. In 1431, natural causes. So extreme climate swings, decades of severe drought followed by destructive monsoon floods.
Interesting.
See, you said that was Khmer? Khmer civilization? Khmer civilization centered at Angkor, built an elaborate water management city.
Oh, okay.
Modern research shows that in the late 1300s, the region suffered a prolonged drought. This sounds familiar. It's like the last one. Right? And this was abruptly followed by an unusually intense monsoon, or by monsoon rains. Massive flooding damaged or overwhelmed Angkor's canals and reservoirs. That was their water system. It was advanced at the time.
It was advanced.
But it wasn't ready for this huge deluge that came from the monsoon rains. Aged infrastructure could not be repaired. That's what I was just saying. Undermining the capital's water supply and agriculture. By the 1430s, the city was largely abandoned. In short, swings from drought of floods destroyed the hydraulic system on which Angkor's depended, contributing to the empire's collapse.
So you notice it's around the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because they're saying
it must be a mini ice age or something.
Because they're saying the Norse, Greenland, it was in the 1420s was the last written record of them. And here we have the 1430s. The city was largely abandoned.
Yeah.
So
that was
kind of around the same time frame. It's interesting.
Different parts of the world, kind of. I mean, not too far.
Not too far, but here we go. Ming Dynasty in China. China. So 1368 to 1644 CE. Did anybody figure out what CE stands for? Oh, hold on. Most the books figured it out. Common Era or same as AD. Okay.
Common Era.
That's the first time I've heard it referred to as that. So very interesting. So sharp climate cooling and prolonged drought, same kind of thing. Part of the global little ice age led to crop failures and famine. During the late Ming, China experienced unusually cold, dry weather. Studies report that the average temperatures in North China fell over by 1 degree Celsius in the first half of the 17th century. And eastern China endured the most persistent drought since 500 AD, from 1627 to 1642. These conditions caused repeated famines. Historical accounts describe starving peasants and bodies along the roads during 1641 to 1642. That's horrible. The resulting social unrest and widespread uprisings, fatally weakened the Ming state. In effect, climate stress, floods, and droughts amplified the existing crisis and accelerated the Ming collapse by 1644.
So it's only a couple hundred years difference.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, how much has the weather changed in the last 200 years here? I mean, I wouldn't say a huge amount, other than because of infrastructure.
Yeah.
That definitely causes places to retain heat. So it's possible that was still carrying on for 200 years.
Yeah.
And
That mini ice age or
yeah,
whatever.
that kind of cycle they were going through.
Yeah. We do have some graphs on weather a little bit later.
This is the Weather Channel. I love these words that I'm reading for the first time. I was going to have time to study all this today until
you had to get
I had to have a root canal done all of a sudden.
Let's go with Kabur.
Kabur, the Kabur River Valley, late Ottoman Mesopotamia.
The Ottoman Empire.
So location is in the Kabur River, northeast Syria, southeast Turkey, then Ottoman Empire. Back in that day. Okay. See, the timeline is intense. How's that? Okay. Intensive farming in the 1700s. So I want to picture this intensive farming. I guess they were
big agriculture.
Really digging into the earth. But it was largely abandoned by the 1800s, early 1900s.
Huh.
And its natural causes were decadal drought. Uh-oh. I'll have to go to this.
Oh, it got too small.
If I can find it.
Little ice age effects made rain-fed agriculture unsustainable. And then you're in the summary. Yeah.
I was looking for that decadal.
Right above it, natural causes.
Boy, clear up here.
Yeah.
My God. Okay. So yeah, they're blaming it on that little ice age again, which. Yep. So we're talking
quite a few years,
like 400 years of a mini ice age.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Crazy. So multi-decadal drought made rain-fed agriculture unsustainable. In the 18th and 19th century, the fertile Kabul River basin supported dense Ottoman-era farming and towns. Climate reconstruction shows that a severe drought struck the region in the 1800s. Rainfall declined so much that wheat fields failed year after year. By the 19th century, villagers were forced to leave the valley altogether. Archaeological and historical studies conclude that this prolonged aridity, essentially a natural climate shift, caused the region's rural abandonment. In other words, a once productive agriculture civilization was wiped out by an extended drought.
That sucks.
So didn't that almost kind of happen in the when was the Dust Bowl?
The Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, when was that? Was that the 40s or 30s, or was it earlier than that?
It's a great question. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Bottom line is,
it almost happened.
Water is good. Too much water is bad. No water
is really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's the gist of it.
Hey, I saw Katy Perry holding one of those in a rocket ship. Wow.
What I saw something on Facebook that talked about somebody stepping in a puddle and now they're a deep sea diver or something like that. Something stupid like that. I still don't know the whole story. I gotta.
You don't want to get involved.
I probably don't. Yeah. Lake Havasu has a town under. That doesn't surprise me.
Oh wow.
That doesn't.
Is there a graveyard buried there too?
Good place for Staticom. Huh?
Yeah. Let's do it. I keep forgetting to say hi to my wife. I know she's on.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa. I'm glad you joined us. And I'm finishing off the Jaeger tonight. Jaeger and Monster, because I can't drink after tonight. I shouldn't probably be drinking tonight after my dental work and the
No,
meds, but
you're fine.
yeah.
You're fine. You're not on. Are you on antibiotics?
Well, I haven't started them yet.
Oh, okay, so you're good. You're good. You're fine.
I'll start those tonight when I get home.
No, you're good. You're good right now. It just amplifies the effects. It's all good.
Jack likes these. I think. I remember. Jaeger bombs on the rocks.
Liverpool Landing.
That's the name of the
Is that
town?
the name of the town that was there? That's interesting. I never knew that Havasu had a town under it. I knew Lake Mead did.
That's interesting. It was called
Liverpool.
Liverpool Landing since the London Bridge goes over the lake. That's cool.
Yep. Jack says it's true.
Yes, it is true. I know when we were playing out at Schnepp Farms, I used to make a big gulp and hide it in a big old thermos, and yeah. Jack said, "He got some of that Jaeger." Yeah.
Smuggling it in. Younger Dryas. I'm gonna have to bring in a beer thing because that's too small for me to read.
Yeah. I mean, I can. Oh man, that was last week's.
Oh, the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Younger Dryas. I'm sure you guys have all heard of that before. It was an abrupt climate event near the end of the last ice age. So time frame was 12,900 years to 11,700 years ago, roughly. And it lasted 1,200 years. That's insane. So a sudden return to glacial cold conditions after a period of warming. So Northern Hemisphere, especially North America and Europe. So it says prior to the Younger Dryas, the Earth was warming after the last glacial maximum, the coldest part of the ice age. But then almost suddenly the temperature in some regions dropped drastically, plunging back into near glacial conditions. In places like Greenland, ice core data suggests that temperatures fell by as much as 10 degrees Celsius in just a few decades or even less.
So that could have an effect on ice.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly. So two main competing hypotheses, right? The freshwater pulse hypothesis, which is a large influx of fresh water from melting glaciers into the North Atlantic, disrupted the thermal haline circulation, whatever that is.
I don't know.
Oh, it's the ocean currents that distribute heat. There you go.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is.
So that really controls the weather too.
Yeah. This weekender halted the Atlantic meridian. Yeah. Meridional, I guess. Overturning circulation, the AMOC. Yeah.
Jack prefers the older dry ass, you dirty boys, not the younger ones.
Went into rapid cooling, especially in the North Atlantic region. Impact hypothesis. This is the one I've heard of from people. So the idea that a comet or asteroid triggered the massive fires and atmospheric changes leading to Younger Dryas. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of, was it Graham Hancock who talks about it a bunch? I think it's Graham.
Sure.
You ever watch his stuff? So I'm on Joe Rogan, and I know he talked about Younger Dryas, and that it's just it's a natural cycle that the Earth goes through every 26. So that was like the half life of that cycle. So I think it's like 26,000 years is a cycle where the poles, the warble and all that.
Yeah.
And so it was at that part of the cycle when, things were melting much faster. And so I don't think we have to worry about that cycle coming around for another 13,000 years, or since if it's a 26,000 year cycle.
26,000 year, yeah. But you never know.
Yeah, you just don't.
Could happen.
So I like the possible civilizations affected.
Yeah. Yep.
During
I like
that.
that. I think I have that.
So the Younger Dryas occurred during a time when most humanity was still hunter-gatherer or I said photo. I said, what? No, proto-agricultural societies. So while there were no civilizations in the classical sense, like Egypt or Mesopotamia, there were advanced forager cultures that could have been deeply affected. Some possible candidates: the Natufian culture, if I said that right. Levant, modern day Israel, Palestine, and Syria, among the first to transition toward, what are these words? Sedentary. I have heard that before. Sedentary living and early farming. So
that's what we do today, is sedentary.
Yeah. Right before the Younger Dryas, they began experiencing the grain harvesting and storage. So they were starting to get, I bet they made beer.
They probably did.
They were doing that kind of stuff. During the cold snap, they reverted to more mobile lifestyles, likely due to crop failures. You have that Clovis one?
Yeah, I can grab that. Clovis culture, known for their distinctive stone tools and big game hunting, disappeared around the onset of Younger Dryas. Some propose that they were either wiped out by environmental change or forced to adapt rapidly.
The next one's one of my favorites just because I like to say it. That's Göbekli Tepe, which is in modern day Turkey.
I've heard of that.
Have you seen, I mean, you got to look at some of the stuff they've dug up, because it's like a whole city that's buried in there, starting to excavate it and finding how really advanced they were for the time. So I think they were, well, they say they were from 9600 BCE. So that was before the Common Era.
Yeah.
Would that be it?
I would think so. Yep.
So the temple complex was built just after the Younger Dryas. So this was after Younger Dryas. By some, but some argue its creation may have been a response to the upheaval, perhaps a spiritual or social effort to regain stability. So yeah, that's kind of like post-apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
You know,
rebuilding.
So everybody's kind of fending for themselves, and yeah, there would be some headbutting going on in that post-apocalyptic society. I mean, we're making a whole freaking movie on it.
We are,
sort
of. Not Younger Dryas, but
not Younger Dryas, but post-apocalypse.
Where are we going from here?
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, I was reading on.
Oh, that was the question. So, was the Younger Dryas a natural cycle? Yes.
I'd say yes.
This says yes. It was likely part of Earth's natural climate variability, but one triggered by specific events such as glacial melting or possibly an extraterrestrial impact.
And I believe that if you think of all the craters that we have here in the U.S., there had to be a lot of impacts over time, right? We have one here in Arizona, right? Isn't there one in New Mexico too? I think there's a bunch of them around. So we've had to have some significant impacts, I would think, just here in the States over time.
So could it happen again?
Absolutely. Could happen again. Before the Common Era, same as BC. Okay. So we were right. Good job, Joey.
I just thought, what else could B stand for? So it says, what could trigger a modern day Younger Dryas-like event? So a shutdown of the AMOC, which is the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation.
Yep.
which, yeah, that does control our weather too, bringing the,
Yeah, it says this is the same ocean current system thought to have been disrupted during the Younger Dryas. Today, melting Greenland ice and the Arctic freshwater input are already weakening the AMLC, right?
yeah.
A complete shutdown could cause severe cooling in Europe and climate chaos globally. They made movies about that. This one's interesting because the large scale volcanic eruptions, right? That's always a concern.
Mhm.
And we're starting to see a lot of activity popping up
Yeah.
on some of these
We are.
volcanoes. I think the one in Hawaii just went off again too, didn't it? Kilauea just went off.
You could have.
Yeah, I think that one did. And there was another one that they were talking about too recently that started making some rumbling. Shit, I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't like Helen's or anything like that, but it was another one that they talked about not too recent in the news. But
I need
that's
to pay
that's
more
a concern.
attention to that.
And then you always get the stories of the Yellowstone volcano too, which is
Well, yeah, because that's
kind of it's
a super volcano.
yeah, and it's mostly underground, right?
Mhm.
That's what they're saying. So
So yeah, when it blows, it'll take out half the country with it. So,
that's what they're saying. Sorry,
which is pretty darn scary to think about.
it is kind of scary. Yeah, they say it's huge. So I guess it could happen. What else? Human-driven climate change, right? Might not cause a new ice age, but it increases instability, making abrupt changes more likely and more severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's like concrete jungles being built, I mean, big cities and all that
Right.
retain all the concrete and asphalt and all that retain all the heat where, back 100 years ago or 150 years ago, more like, here in Arizona, the old West, the desert would cool down at night, be hot during the day and cold at night.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of, the one in Alaska. I know I just heard it recently. Alaska has an active volcano now. Interesting.
Oh, there you go.
So I kind of brought this up. You always hear these two terms used interchangeably, right? Weather and climate. So weather is typically anything that's short term, minutes, hours, days, weeks. Climate's anything that's long term, decades and centuries. Scale wise, weather's localized, climate is regional or global. Variability, highly variable, can change rapidly. More stable changes over longer periods would be climate. Examples: a sunny day to a cold snap, or the average summer temperature in a region, the typical amount is of rainfall. Sorry. So yeah, that's a lot of people I think use these terms inappropriately sometimes. But
Well, I can tell you from living in North Texas that in a single day, you can go from having 78-degree weather to dropping down to the low 50s in a matter of an hour, just depending on which way the wind's blowing.
right.
And so that stuff happens in Texas all the time. We always said it was the weather's drunk in Texas.
Wow, that's interesting. Around the globe, there's 45 continual eruptions of volcanoes happening right now.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for that. That's yeah. You think about it, if all of them really blew their top, right, and spit all that ash into the atmosphere, what kind of an effect that would have, right? I mean,
it's
huge.
It's more that initial eruption, right?
Right, yeah,
That's causing that, because once it pops its top,
yeah,
and
it's just lava coming down.
yeah.
But it's all shooting that ash up into the atmosphere, and then it travels.
Mm-hmm.
We watched it. Was it the one volcano that went off? You can watch the ash cloud go across the country. They showed you satellite images of it.
Talking about
pretty cool
from Mount St. Helens back then.
Yeah.
Now that I remember. I mean, that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
When that happened, And no, I don't mean to laugh, but I know we have family in Oregon, and they experienced a lot of the ash and all that. But it made me think. There were some pictures in National Geographic that came out shortly after that, and I remember seeing a picture of a pickup truck that had, I can't remember if it was a kid or a grown up. That was really like Pompeii.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just
They
preserved,
preserved in the ash.
Jeez.
Because there were those that refused to leave,
Yeah.
and didn't understand how drastic it was
They
going to
paid
be.
the price with their life. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, they call it, what is it called? The pyroclastic cloud or whatever that comes down. It's fire in that cloud. I mean, it's hot.
Well, yeah, that ash
You know,
would be mighty hot
burning
too.
hot. Yeah. Yeah. It instantly pretty much.
So it just fused to the skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hit you.
Because it comes in like a nuclear bomb, man. It just comes in really fast. That's what they say. I've never experienced it personally, but
Well, that's where the ground also looks like it's liquid, and it's really dry earth.
Yeah.
Moving just like a river or whatever flowing through there.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Really bizarre.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Mm.
Really scary stuff.
I think if I was to be consumed by a volcano, I'd rather be living right by it.
Yeah, get it over quick, right?
It's like being at ground zero,
Yeah. So I brought this up. This kind of goes back to when supposedly we started paying attention to weather, right? Whether it was through meteorological. I can't even say the word. I'm not even going to try to say it. Astronomical. So through astrology, we watch the weather. That's back in ancient civilizations. Then you get the classical era, which is 4th century BC. You got Aristotle's Meteorologica. Why can't I say that word? It's like what other word we were trying to pronounce a couple weeks ago? I couldn't.
It's like Britannica.
Yeah. Provided a comprehensive overview of weather-related knowledge at the time. Then the 17th century, you have the invention of the barometer, right? And that's something that's still used today, which is interesting. And the development of reliable thermometers. What is a thermometer? I would say a thermometer. Is that a thermometer?
It probably is a thermometer.
It's
it does say thermo. It doesn't say thermometer. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
It says meter.
Yeah, it's thermometers, not thermometers.
Thermometers.
Anyway,
thermometers.
Let's drink some more. Let's drink some more beer. 18th century, Robert Boyle. We've heard of Boyle's Law, right? Waukesha. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Formulated the laws related to gas pressure, temperature, and density, contributing to a better understanding of the atmosphere. God, I got to blow this stuff up, man. This stuff's so hard to read from here. It's so small.
Our eyeballs are just not getting any younger.
No, and I can't focus on it to see what the hell it says.
19th century.
Thank you.
The telegraph facilitated the expansion of weather observation networks, and the first daily weather forecasts were published in the Times.
Interesting.
For sure. Mid-20th century, numerical weather prediction models and the use of weather satellites led to advancements in forecasting accuracy. But how accurate are they today?
I think they're pretty accurate.
I mean, at least they give you a percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's where a lot of people. There's a misconception too, because just because it says 50% chance of rain, right? It doesn't mean
somewhere in the state.
It means somewhere in the state it has that 50% chance to rain, not necessarily in your area where you're at. So I think there's a lot of people misread that. But
but no, they are pretty accurate.
It's pretty easy to tell the weather.
At least temperature wise, we know when it's going to get cold, when it's going to get hot.
Yeah.
And then in monsoon season, then we know we're going to get an afternoon dust storm and a nice lightning show.
And no rain.
and no rain.
At least the last couple of years we haven't had nothing. But so, we really, if you think the whole purpose of this slide, and I want to ask people at home, do you guys have a hard time reading this too? Because I need to start making these things bigger because I cannot read it from here. It's like I'm struggling to try to read it. That's why I had to print out the earlier stuff because it was so small. I'd never be able to read it on the screen, but I have to keep that in mind when making the slides. I need to make it bigger, make it easier to read.
Bigger.
So I know when it says thermometer or thermometer.
I like to stick those thermometers in my.
So what I find interesting, and please don't take this any way other than just trying to make an observation here. I don't fully subscribe to the whole climate change thing, or at least as far as it's gone. I do think that I'm kind of with Joey on this. I think to where do we have an effect on climate? Of course we do. There's everything we do, everything we pump into the atmosphere doesn't have an effect. It does, right? But a lot of people talk
and
about
all the
this,
crap we put in the ocean.
Yeah,
does
of course,
affect it, so.
Of course it does. But so I love this depiction because it says this is your natural variation from year 0, right, to just about 2000.
Yeah.
And then it shoots up, right? And the narrative is it's not natural for it to do that. Well, if we look back at the history of weather, okay, and again, this is really small, so I'm not going to try to read all of it, but you see.
Well, it shows that it starts at Younger Dryas, doesn't it?
Right. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. And you see this huge spike in a relatively short period of time, right? Which is very similar to the spike we're starting to see now. Right. So my whole argument is, how do we know it's natural, right? Or not natural? They're saying it's not natural. How do we know that? Because if you go back the amount of time we've actually been studying weather, right? We don't know what happened millions of years ago. And I agree with you. I believe everything on the planet is cyclical. And who knows what cycle we're going through right now. Right?
Right.
I mean, so the idea that these ice ages or these warming trends can happen again, it could very likely happen again. And it doesn't take much to cause it.
No, especially if you have an asteroid hit.
Right.
Could really change things.
But even like we said, what if 5 of these volcanoes all blow their top at once and throw a bunch of shit up into the atmosphere? That can block out the sun.
Yeah,
that can cause
it'd be like a nuclear winter, but
right.
You'd call it something different.
It's a volcano. I think they actually call it a volcanic winter. Yeah. Yep. Christine says, I know the weather has changed a lot here in Ohio. In the winter, we would have tons of snow. Now barely get any. Plus, we are bypassing spring, going straight to summer.
I don't think that's just in Ohio.
No, it's definitely not just in Ohio.
I don't know what happened to spring.
But realistically, I'm going to shut that off for a minute. I think this is the last slide anyway. But if you think about us, traditionally, as we approach May, which we are, right? We're only a week from May.
Tomorrow.
There's been...
No, tomorrow's the 30th.
2 more days, right?
2 more days. Yeah.
Traditionally, we've hit 100 before May. Right? We haven't hit 100 yet.
Yeah, they thought we would hit 100 in April this year, and we didn't.
And I don't think we got close.
There. We got close.
We got close, but we didn't. And they're forecasting actually for the next 2 weeks to be in the 70s and the 80s. So we may hold off on the 100-degree until maybe mid-May.
So maybe we really did get spring. We just have to accept it.
It's our spring.
As it is spring.
Yeah. I mean, it's 85, but but it's definitely better than 100 degrees. But I mean, I just think it's fascinating because we really don't know what the cycle of the planet is. And we could be just in one of those trends right now. And you see those trends last 1,000 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so, that's why I thought that graph was kind of powerful because, to say that it's not natural for that to happen. Well, we've seen it in our history before a couple of times. There's actually one right here too. If you look, there's another spike around, what was that? 13,000 BC. I can't read it from here, but somewhere around there was a big spike up again, and then it kind of leveled out for all the years. We had our little mini ice age up there.
Well, yeah. And if I wonder, because if you could pull up that graph again, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 0. So that was the year 0. It really dropped quite a bit.
Yep.
So is that spike coming back to where it was natural? I mean, if you're looking at it, I wish the pointer on here would work on the
on the
on
screen.
everybody's screen.
Yeah.
You know, but if you look at year 0,
Yep.
and it was pretty much, I mean, on that black line.
Yep.
And then it dropped below it.
It dropped below. Yep.
And then all of a sudden here, year 2000, it's come back up. But is it just come back up to that where it was before? I don't see what the temperature difference is there, because it's pretty tiny. But
triple digits on April 10th and April 11th this year. Was that here? Oh, that's Sky Harbor, possibly.
Oh, that's where it hit 122 that day. Back in June.
They don't have an annotation tool on here, like a pointer, do they? That you can use. Come on, StreamYard, you guys need
that would be handy, wouldn't it?
Because you can do lectures and stuff on here. So I'm surprised they don't have that.
Give me a pointer.
Yeah, that's interesting. They don't have it as a tool anywhere. Need to make that suggestion to StreamYard. We need to add that so we can draw circles and stuff. Tell people, show people what we're talking about.
And smiley faces.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
All kinds of fun stuff. Oh, wait, what's that pencil down here? Oh, that's the edit layout.
That's the edit. Yeah, that's the edit the layout. Yeah.
I knew what that was.
Yeah. Don't hit that. Whatever you do, don't hit that. Yeah, they have music you can put in the background. They got all kinds of stuff, but no pointer. They need like a laser pointer. I'm going to write to them. I like writing to them because they respond pretty quick. Yeah, I think we're still at least 3 weeks away from the hundreds. Hoping.
I mean, it can hold off as long as it wants.
You're good with it?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'll be quarantined for a good little portion of the next month and a half. So
yeah.
We're talking about the $5 footlong.
or the
I like the BMT.
Yeah. Arthur's a lizard. He likes the heat. I don't mind the heat. I really don't. I mean, it gets old after a while.
I don't like getting in a car.
No, that sucks.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I don't mind it either that much.
Yeah, when you get branded by the seatbelt, that kind of when it sucks.
touch the steering wheel and your hands stick to it. They melt to it. It's not a good thing.
It's 100. It's on average. So anybody who doesn't live here in Arizona, you get in your car in the summertime, it's average 135 degrees, 140.
It's nasty.
It's bad. It's hot. And I bought a black truck. Go figure.
I was watching. I was driving over here on Friday. We're going to do some more movie stuff.
Right.
I was pulling up to get on the 202, and then looking at all the traffic on University coming towards me, and every car that was on the ramp, or at least on the overpass, was a white car. Wow, that's pretty boring. And then I decided I was going to look when I got on the freeway, at all the cars coming towards me, and it's a good 50 to 60% white.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So we're not a very colorful state when it comes to cars.
only when it's license plates.
Yeah.
Christine said she'd rather have the dry heat in Arizona than the heat and humidity. I would take the dry over humidity.
Absolutely.
Humidity's. I grew up in it. It's miserable.
Yeah,
you lived in it.
I've had a chance to experience it.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
Yeah, it's miserable. It really is. But yeah. So, my work trucks have always been white. So I always told myself, if I own my own truck, it's not going to be white, because that's all I've ever driven is white trucks. Yeah. So I went completely the opposite, got black, but.
So I've owned, my HHR was white. And I think we had for a short time, what was that Chevy little thing?
Like an
They were-
S10?
No, it was a
Oh.
car, a
Oh,
little,
car.
they're tinier cars. What were those called? They used to be very popular back in the day. I mean, just because they were cheap. What were they called?
What year?
During the 90s to early 2000s, probably. And then they came out with a sporty one that actually had a turbo engine in it.
Really?
Yeah, but then I think they discontinued them, but I can't think of what they're called. I
Capri?
remember I had a Capri, but that's a Mercury. Back when that was our first car when Lisa and I got married. Not the Pinto. That was after the Pinto.
I knew somebody who had a
Oh,
Pinto.
crap. No.
An MG.
MG. Yeah, it was a really boring name. Like
It was.
crap.
I can't.
Lisa, are you on there?
She is.
Oh, we had the Daihatsu. That was white too. That's right. That was a 3-cylinder car.
The Hotz. Oh God.
Yeah.
That's a Honda.
CRX.
CRX is a Honda.
Yeah.
Mercury Capri.
Oh, that would have been ours. Wasn't convertible. We had a 1970. I believe it was a 70 Capri. It's a 4-cylinder, and it was kind of gold.
CRX was a fun car to drive. My brother had 2 of them. I love the CRX.
All right, Lisa, you got to remember it was Michelle's car, and we traded her for the
Chevy,
the Santa Fe,
not a Malibu.
and then we drove it for a little bit till we traded it in on something new. But it was white, and it was one of those Chevy cars.
Wasn't a Malibu, was it?
No, that's too fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said the 90s?
Yeah.
Let's see what it comes up with.
A Zephyr. We had a Zephyr too. Oh, of course, that was Lisa saying that. The Zephyr was blue. It was a 2-tone blue.
Celebrity?
That sounds too fancy too.
Beretta? 94. Illumina?
No.
Wasn't
Get
Corvette.
Small. Really small.
Cavalier wasn't. Cavalier was a small car. Prism?
No. It was a Dodge?
Corsica?
You're right. It was a Dodge. It wasn't a Chevy.
Oh, so I'm looking up.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. That's right. Because they
was it a Dart?
Wasn't a Dart, but it was a Dodge. Yeah. Where am I going with that? Oh, it's because it was a white one. I was just coming up with Dachshund. No, the Datsuns turned into Nissan.
Yeah.
It was a Dodge, and then they made that. And the
Intrepid.
Rachel and Cam got the one that was
the
turbo.
Neon. The Dodge Neon was from the 90s. I remember.
Yeah, it was a Neon.
Was it Neon?
Yeah, it was a Neon.
I remember the Neon.
That's what it was.
Somebody
I guess that's not too boring of a name.
I think my mom had a Neon. Did you guys have a Neon? I don't know. Somebody I knew had a Neon. I don't remember. Gremlin.
Gosh, I'm glad we got that.
Gremlin. Remember the Gremlins?
Those were cool
not the
looking.
movie, the cars.
Yeah, those were cool looking, I thought.
So what's in store for us for the next couple of weeks? Because we really don't know yet, do we?
We don't. So you hopped on a few weeks ago, and I divulged my treatment schedule. I'm going to be going through. I'm going to be out of commission for 2 weeks in the hospital, which start this Sunday coming up, and then I'll hopefully be able to at least do remote once I get home. But I'll be quarantined for at least 30 days after I get home, and hopefully, like I said, we can start
doing stuff again.
Doing stuff again. That's split screen.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah, for the next couple weeks, we talked about some ideas, and so you'll just have to stay tuned to see if we have a show in the next 2 weeks.
Yes. We'll let you know well in advance. Don't worry. And maybe I'll put together some old stuff to throw on a
That would
Tuesday
be
night or
fun.
something. We could do that too. So we'll come up with something for sure.
Yeah, something that I can watch while I'm in the hospital.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Some entertainment.
You'll definitely need some entertainment. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you, Andrea. Love you guys. I'm anxious to see you guys again. It's been a while.
Yeah, we need to do that soon too.
Mhm.
For sure. Got to talk, and I'm trying to talk.
We need
talk
some
them
more
into being
zombies.
Zombies for us. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I love you too, Christine. Look forward to you coming out.
Yeah. Couple.
Hopefully, I'll be released.
Couple months away.
It's in June, right? I'm
Yeah.
hoping by the middle of June, at least I can get released from
Quarantine.
my house arrest.
So
Yeah. So, and if you don't know, I'm going through, it's called CAR T cell therapy, which is a transplant of my CAR T, well, not CAR T cells,
Your
but
T
my
cells.
T cells. So a couple weeks back, I had those T cells harvested, and they went to a lab, and they're genetically modifying them so that when they put them back in, they will only attack the cancer cells that they're programmed to attack. So, and there are some funky side effects that can happen. So that's why I have to be in the hospital during those, injections. So, but it's all going to be good.
Yep. It's got a great success rate.
Yeah.
So-
65% cure rate, which you don't hear that word too often when it comes to the big C word.
No.
So,
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're saying our
So-
prayers for you, and
well, thanks everybody.
get back here soon because
Looking forward to getting back.
I can't hold the fort down without you. So
Yes, they did. They didn't throw my T cells into the ocean, right? Or my T's. Hopefully, they didn't sell them. They probably could bring a hefty price on the black market,
probably. Yeah. Well, that's why that's why they took so much.
Yeah.
We'll put this back, and Joey will sell the rest. You know, that's not really even funny, but it is. Got to joke around a little bit.
Life would be boring if we didn't.
It would be, yes. So don't forget, if you guys are watching us for the first time tonight, welcome. I see some new faces on there tonight. Make sure you guys go like, share, and subscribe if you can. And don't forget to check out our Patreon page. You know, we're gonna have a lot more behind the scenes footage from our movie to post on Patreon. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be really kind of working on music and sound effects now while Joey's recovering, and hopefully get back to filming when Joey's all better and up and around again. So looking forward to that.
So we're almost to a third, would you say, of our first episode?
Yeah, I'd
on
say we're about a
filming.
third.
So,
Yep.
and if I didn't say it before, making a movie is hard work. Oh, the camera's right there,
But it's fun.
but it is fun.
It's been rewarding.
We've learned a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this on no budget and very few people, so it's been a lot of fun.
But the people that we've had working with us are freaking amazing.
Yeah, they've been awesome. Everybody's been awesome. We got
Yeah.
a great group of people. So, and it's only going to grow because we have more characters. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. So,
And I am too.
all right.
All right, folks. Well, this has been the truth about Keith's empty beer, and I've been double fisting it. Oh, here we go. Get him in screen.
Get him in screen. There you go.
Jaeger beer. I don't know.
Good combination. I'm ready to crack open another one.
There. Well, here.
I should do that so we can cheers.
Yeah,
There we go. Ah, Boston Lager. Let's go with the old Boston.
Boston Lager.
Boston. So then we can cheers properly.
Those have a very malty flavor.
They do, yeah. A little bit dark. It's more of an amber, right?
Yeah, it's getting close to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little
I
dark.
think it is an amber. right.
Tasty.
So this has been the truth about beer and
Something about civilizations that disappeared too soon.
the end of the world, all that kind of stuff.
So cheers.
So cheers. Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
We'll
Till
see
next
you.
time.
We'll see you next time. We'll let you know in the coming weeks what the plan is, but you'll hear from us. So,
Yep.
All right. See you guys later.
Good night.
Welcome to the truth about beer.